Happy Tuesday. We hope you're having a great week so far. It's December.
It's the second Tuesday of December.
Oh my gosh, that doesn't
Right?
even seem right. Yes.
It is, yes.
Oh my goodness. This year flew by. But we hope you're having a great week so far. This week, we want to talk about
Half-assing versus full-assing.
Okay, so we want to encourage people to whole ass it.
Yeah, you should always be whole-assing everything.
We want to give you some examples of how you can give it your all,
Right.
instead of just kind of taking it halfway.
Right.
Take it over the finish line.
Yeah, take it over the finish line strongly, if at all possible, but
Finish hard.
at least take it over the finish line. Don't stop like 5 yards out and be like, yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can watch them give other people medals. We're good. Yeah. No.
Like when you're a long distance runner, I was a long distance runner. I know that's shocking, but I was a long distance runner in high school, and that's when you finish hard at the end. Like you go give it all you've possibly got at the end. So
Then you can fall down and throw up or whatever. But
yeah, you fall down and throw up after you finish,
Right.
Not before.
Yeah. So our first example, which this is kind of a funny example, and fortunately it was only just a one-time random thing in a package of, how many did we order?
200.
200. So we do calendars for a client every year. One of our clients that we love, FCC, and they're always driver submitted photos. That's the whole calendar. So yes, we had somebody from FCC come down last week for a meeting and brought this calendar.
And gave us all a heart attack.
Gave us all a heart attack, specifically Lacy, because he put it in front of her first and was like, hey, look at the calendar. And she said, I did, we got some samples. And he goes, no, look at this one. So, calendar.
I was looking at it and he's like, no, open it up.
Yep, open it up. So this page, I know it's backwards for you, but it's at least right side up. Nope, no more.
It's upside down.
Everything is upside down. It's all upside down. So we don't know exactly what happened, but so Lacy's fear, and this was at the very beginning of the meeting, and you could just see like the color just drain from her face, like,
I about lost it.
oh, this was the only one. This was the only one in the package, but
it was on top.
It was the first one they pulled out. Yeah, it wasn't like down at the bottom. So we don't know if it was maybe a print sample, if they were checking the press. Those were some of the things that Shannon kind of thought of. But that's fine if you're going to do that. That's part of your business process. Maybe don't include the error ones in what you're shipping to the client. Because
sure, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, no, because best case scenario is that they just laugh and maybe kind of lose a little faith in you. Worst case scenario is that they say, don't ever use that person again. So.
Yeah. So, anyway, crisis averted. It was only one in a package of 200.
Right.
So we still had a good $199, and knowing the printers, they probably put in a couple extra anyway. But yeah, that was a good. Maybe check what you're putting in the box and don't put any of the mistaken ones into the box.
Right.
That goes right into the next thing, actually. Always check your work, okay? Proofread it, run it through a proofreader, but then also use your eyeballs to check it. Just really watch for those things and make sure that, you know, if you update something on a website, go check the front end and make sure it translated properly to the front end of the site. Don't just say, oh, well, I did it, it's done. Definitely double check. You know, our graphic designer, she'll always print it out.
Right.
And check it on a print as well so that it's not just on her screen.
Right.
Kind of changing your view of how you're looking at it helps to catch some of those things you might have missed otherwise.
And I'll say along with that, don't assume because you've done it once previously correctly or even 50 times previously correctly that you can shortcut it and not check it, because there's always going to be that chance that something slips through, that something has changed that you don't even know about. So always look.
Double check your work all the time. Just take one last look before you send that off to a client or publish it or print it or whatever. Following processes all the way through is always a very good tip. There's processes that we've done like hundreds of times, and so we don't even think about it. We don't even look back at what we're supposed to be doing. But a lot of those times, those processes have those little checklists in there of, you do this, you do this, you do this, and don't forget to do this. And so having that process handy and just making sure you're following all the steps is always very important. Ensuring that we get the whole thing done, finish strong, and not just stop. Short.
And if you need to, if something comes up or whatever the case may be, things change, formats change, platforms change, whatever, make changes in the process. If it's adding things that someone else brings to your attention, add it in so that you know for future stuff. Don't just be like, okay, and not pay attention to it, because it will come up again.
And just because it's the way we've always done it is a terrible reason to keep a process the same.
Exactly.
Things change a lot, fast in this world, especially in our industry, but in many, many industries, things change, and they change fast. And so you got to keep those processes up with what's going on. So the last thing we have here is making sure you have more than one set of eyes look over something. It's just a good idea, period, to have more than one person look it over. But as we have found with some things that we've been doing in our office, different people look for different things. So like when we get a website and we're looking through the programming, I look it over and I look at the functionality. Is this working properly? Are all the links the way they should be? Is everything formatting the way it should be? That's kind of what I look for. Then I send it off to the rest of the team, and Shannon looks more for like, what's the client going to like about this or dislike about this. April really looks at the content and how that flows and any issues with that. Lizzie looks at the design and what she sent, and to make sure that it all functions properly. So we all look for different things, and so together, all of those eyes combined really make a phenomenal website, because we're all looking for different things that make that website vital. Yeah, when you send off changes to anybody, always make sure you go back and look through those changes to make sure they were all made properly. And if you're making the changes, make sure to go through the changes a couple times and make sure you made them all, especially when it's a really long list, because it's really easy to miss one or two. If you get a list of like 20 changes. So, which thankfully doesn't happen often around here, but it happens. And so just making sure you go through that list one more time before you say, I made all these changes, to ensure that quality assurance is actually there.
Happening.
So that's what we've got for you today. So go out this week
and whole ass it all.
Do it! Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.